Okay, this is going to be a video that I had a request for on setting up longs and shorts in TradingView. So I'm going to do a quick video on this using the long and short tools. I will go through how to set the tools up in the beginning and then how to use the tools as well as what all of the information on the tool means. I'm going to switch to a screen here. Um, a training screen and we'll get started. Okay, so what we're looking at here is Tesla, and doesn't really matter what stock we're using. I already have my trading tools down here in a favorites bar. The icon with the line, the dotted line going from the left up to the right is the long tool, and vice versa, going down from left down to right is the short tool. Those tools are located over here on the left-hand toolbar. Um, I think by default the long tool will be shown, but if not, you can open that up and it will show you those tools in here. It's the one, two, three, it's the fifth icon down. In case yours shows something different, all of these could be options that your screen may be showing. You can star those if you want them to be down on a toolbar for quick reference. So we're going to start with the long tool. And in order to use that tool, you can just left click on it, um, either on your favorites or over on the toolbar on the left, and then left click to add it to your screen. Now, once it's on the screen, you can either double click in the box, or you can come up here and hit the settings icon. It will take you to the same place. Okay, so these are going to be the setup tools or the setups for the tool. Um, so you can keep the same risk unit no matter what trade you're using. And that's what we call in RLT, that's what's called the R unit or the risk unit, or you'll hear it probably shortcutted as the R. So you want to put your account value in here, and this can really be anything. It doesn't have to be actually accurate. Most people don't track their account value through this tool, so it doesn't really matter. I just usually put a standard 20,000 in there. Your lot size is always going to be 1. Your risk unit is going to be what your actual risk that you want to use per trade. And I want to use 200. It keeps going back to 100 because I need to change this from percent to US dollars. Obviously, I can't trade 200% of the account, which is why I wouldn't hold that 200. So now I can reduce this to 200. And as you can see here, account size 20,000, lot size is 1. Risk unit is 200 US dollars. You need to make sure you switch this because it does default to percentage to begin with. And the rest of this we will fill out as we go along. But your entry will be here. Your profit line is here, and your stop level is here. We're going to close out of that, and we're going to set the rest of those on the chart itself. So what we're looking at here is Tesla, and we have the long tool on here. So we're going to say that maybe we want to go long right above this candle. We want our stop to be right underneath here, and we want to go for a 1.2. So we're going to drag this down till it says 1.2. That's 1.21. We can reduce this to 1.2. There we go. So what you're looking at here is your entry level. I have mine in gray. That's the center line between the green and the red. That's my entry. I've got my stop, which is at the bottom of the red box at 271.18. And I've got my target, which is the top of the green box at 281.91. So what this is telling me is that I have a risk on of $4.87 from my entry to my stop. So that's what I'm risking per share. So based on that and based on my presets of $200 risk, I'm going to buy 41 shares, quantity right here, 41. Right below that is my risk reward is my 1.2. If I change this, you'll notice that number changes. So you could set it to a 1.5, 1.4, whatever you want to set it to. We're going to put it back to 1.2. And what this means is I've got my entry, or I've got a $4.87 stop on here. So if I get in this trade and I hit my target, I'm making $4.87 times 1.2, which is $5.86. So once I have this set like this, I'll open it back up. You see that my parameters have not changed. If you want to be a little quicker or you can't get these dialed in, you can go in and you can set these manually, either by using the arrows, which will change it by 1 cent each time you move that, or you can just type the numbers right in the price. You could put your stop, your entry, whatever, right in here. So a lot of times I'll go in, I'll get it as close as I can in a quick manner, and then I'll go in and I'll fine tune it here. That makes it a little quicker for me to make sure I get my trades in when I'm trying to actually get into a trade. I try to do the most efficient and quickest method possible so I don't miss trades. You can also do it by ticks if you want. Um, ticks in this case are still 1 penny, so you can change them there as well. Um, that doesn't really come in all that handy because you have to actually know, this is $4.87, so it's 487 ticks. So it's usually just easier to put the price in. Okay, so once you have that set up, then you can go into your broker and you can plug these numbers straight in, put in your shares, put in your numbers that are located over on the right, and it's as easy as that. You do have some options to change some things in here if you want. You can change these to whatever colors you like. I just happen to use red and green. And then I change my entry line to gray. You can change the text size. You can put the price labels on or off. And what that means is the price labels will show up over here on the side if you want those. And then your visibility, you can also set this to it only shows up on certain time frames if you want to do that. The visibility is going to be on every indicator that TradingView has. And then these options will change depending on what kind of indicator you're using, what kind of tool you're using. You can change this to compact size. It kind of reduces this down. As long as you know what these numbers mean, you can kind of compact that down a little bit so it doesn't take up so much of your tool. And then you can always show stats, which means these will stay on all the time. I don't like to have those on simply because I want a cleaner look when I'm using these tools. Keeps things out of the way so I can actually see. And then if I just want to bring them up, I can hover over them, or if I click in here, it'll keep them on here in case I'm putting a trade in or making adjustments or something like that. So that's how to use the long tool. And the short tool is exactly the same. If I wanted to set up, say, underneath here, if I wanted to just reverse this trade, I bring this to my 1.2, and you go in here, go in my inputs, and you can see that everything is in here just the way it was in the long tool. In this particular case, I'd be looking at 44 shares for 1.2 profit with a stop of $4.49 per share, which means I would get 44 shares for $200. This will round to a whole number for shares, so you don't have to worry about that. And usually it will come in it'll come in under $200. So, or whatever your risk unit is. It will tell you how many whole shares you can get. That's kind of a nice I guess, little bonus or little cushion. It won't round up. So, if 44 shares was going to cost me $200 or $202, it won't it won't do that. It will say, all right, you can only get 43 shares because it's going to give you whatever whole number you can get under your preset parameters in here for your risk value. So usually, even if you get stopped out on a trade, it's usually going to be under your preset risk unit. So that's a nice little feature if you're really critical about how much you're losing on a trade. Now, flip side of that is you may also, you may have a 1.2 on here for a profit, but then if it hits, it may be like a 1 point, well, sorry, it would hit down here actually. We're on the bearish setup. It may come in at like a 1.19. Um, because again, uh, it may be 44.3 shares for your full 200. So you may not get the full 200 on the profit as well. It just depends. So that's how you use a long and short tool in TradingView. And then you can just simply plug these numbers into your broker and double check everything and send your orders. So that's how you would use the long and short tool. And hope this video helps. Thanks. Have a great day.